I never thought my life would take such a cruel twist. For years, I believed I was living the perfect marriage. My wife and I had been together for 6 years, and though we had our ups and downs, I thought we were solid. When she told me she was pregnant, I was over the moon. I prepared myself to be the best father, painting the nursery, attending doctor visits, and holding her hand through it all. I loved that child before they even entered the world, but the day of the birth changed everything. After hours of labor, my wife delivered a healthy baby boy. I was exhausted but filled with joy. When the nurse placed the baby in my arms, I felt my world was complete. But just moments later, that same nurse pulled me aside with a strange look on her face. She whispered, "Are you the father?" Confused, I said yes. She hesitated and explained that due to some medical complications, they had run a quick blood compatibility test. The results didn't match. I wasn't the father. My legs went weak and I thought I would collapse. I walked back into the room staring at my wife as she smiled, holding the baby. I didn't say a word. My mind screamed, but my lips stayed sealed. That night, while everyone was asleep, I packed a small bag and left. I disappeared. No note, no explanation, just silence. I cut off all contact, deleted my social media, and moved to a different city. To everyone, including her, I became a ghost. Years passed. I rebuilt myself from the ground up. I got a new job, rented a small apartment, and lived quietly. I didn't date, didn't trust, didn't let anyone close. But despite my new life, there were nights when I couldn't escape the memory of that baby's first cry or the betrayal etched on my wife's face when I vanished. Then, out of nowhere, my past caught up to me. 5 years later, I received a message on Facebook from an account I didn't recognize. It simply said, "Please, I just want to talk." Against my better judgment, I replied. It was her. She told me she had spent years trying to find me, not to beg for forgiveness, but to explain. We met at a small cafe. The moment I saw her, my heart twisted. She looked older, more tired, but her eyes carried the same intensity. She told me the truth. During a rough patch in our marriage, she had a one-night affair. She thought it was meaningless and swore she still loved me. But the baby wasn't mine. She said she wanted to confess back then, but was terrified of losing me. And in the end, she lost me anyway. I sat in silence, listening, every word stabbing me. She pulled out her phone and showed me a picture of the boy, 5 years old, with bright eyes and a smile that looked nothing like mine. "He asks about you," she said softly. "He thinks you're dead." My throat tightened. I didn't know whether to cry, scream, or walk away again. For days, I wrestled with my emotions. Part of me wanted to slam the door shut forever, to erase the pain. But another part, the part that had once painted a nursery and dreamed of bedtime stories, ached to know the boy, even if he wasn't mine by blood. In the end, I chose myself. I met with her one last time and told her I wished them well, but I couldn't return to a life built on betrayal. I wasn't ready to be a father to someone else's child, not when the wound was still raw. She cried, begged me to reconsider, but I stood firm. Walking away again was brutal, but this time I didn't vanish in silence. I left her with words she needed to hear. I loved you once with everything I had, but love dies when trust is murdered. Then I turned and left, for good. And that's how betrayal taught me the hardest lesson. Sometimes survival means disappearing, and sometimes it means staying gone.